Oh, sorry about yesterday. That was I'm not sure really what happened there. I guess something with the modem where it was misbehaving. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well today. I know I don't usually stream on Thursdays, but I felt I owed you that after not streaming yesterday. So, yeah. So we got a couple drawings I could work on. Hold on, I gotta get the list open. It's There's several lists now. Looks like everyone's making their list now. Yeah. What's today's the fifth? Yeah. Oh, here's another list I can add to the Oh no, is that the big list? I mean the big. Oh, okay. Sure. Sorry, one second. I'm just updating some software really quick. I think. What's it doing? Come on, guys, you can do it. Well, we're 1 week, well, actually, not even a week away from the release of the Stardew Island. I'm really excited for that. I'll definitely, maybe on Tuesday I'll do. Hello! Yay, you caught one because I accidentally forgot, or yesterday things kind of fell apart. Yeah, apparently my modem was down yesterday, so I wasn't able to stream, so I'm making up for it today. And I'm gonna start doing this month. The drawing challenge is Faebruary, so I'm gonna be drawing from a couple different lists based around that, because there's a few on Instagram. Let's do this one. Bones. Oh, okay, that's creepy. But we'll try it. Ooh, what if it's like that? No, I'm not doing that. Because there was that little fairy from Hellboy that ate bones, but that thing's too creepy. So, yeah. Well, I hope you're having a good day. Mine was okay. It was good. I was happy to get the modem working after work because I was afraid I was going to just have to like call this. I mean, I was worried that something was wrong with with the router, but I don't know. It didn't. Thankfully, it was something that I could fix on the phone. So, yay! Let's get the music on. Yippee, yippee. Hold on. Well, let's do this one. I haven't listened to this in a while. Ah, thank you. That's right. I do remember that now. Yeah. Thank you. One thing I didn't get to well, you probably saw some of it in the previous videos, but I am working on a comic. So like, yeah, here's one of the pages, like rough. This is like the rough version of it, but it's like a story of a father and daughter on a journey to try and save her mother from a calamity that might pull her and trap her in the fairy realm forever. And so they're like, she doesn't know it. The mother doesn't know it's happening. So, and she's busy with her own mission. So, like, I'm gonna have the story bounce between the two of them, and eventually she does find out, and then her story becomes protect these animals and try and escape at the same time. So it's kind of like Dante's Inferno meets Lord of the Rings, kind of. Where it's like some kind of like yeah, there's a couple characters I've seen, like in Seven Deadly Sins. There's a guy that kind of reminds me of this too. I mean, he's a little bigger, but yeah, I'll show you here. I'll show you one of the pages I'm really proud of. I have a couple really. Well, like here's the first page. So this is the difference between done. Like this is what I would consider closer, like or pretty much done. Like the cool thing was I wanted to show that she's really like she's been raised to like just start a job from raw materials to finished. Like she's very hardworking. She lives in a world with magic, but she doesn't believe in shortcuts. She was raised to do things from step one to whatever. Like, and everyone else in the world outside is kind of the opposite, where they want to use magic for like the most benign small things that you shouldn't even use magic for. Like they're abusing it almost. And it has costs in this universe, so it's crazy that they're even doing that, because like it. But here, I'll show you another one that was pretty good. I have like this. I love to like. It adds more time to the drawings, but I love to render. Like this is the one where they got ambushed. Oh, this is June Steele song, and her father Richard Steele song. But yeah, I'm pretty proud with that. Like him spinning around in the arc of that. Here, I'm in the way of some of the pages of some of the panels, but yeah. And the mother's name is Grace Steele Song. So I'll show you their character sheets if I can find them. Let's see, character sheets. Where are you? Not there. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I got. Oh, here's Richard's. Or this is one of the ones I did for Richard. Yeah, he does that. I think I was just like, I must have been in the middle of watching solo leveling or something when I made that page, because that definitely feels like very much like a solo leveling kind of moment. Yeah, he can summon weapons, like anything. But the rule is it has to be able to. It has to be a weapon that he forged himself. He can't just make any weapon. So it's a way of me being like, he can't just like think of Excalibur and then suddenly have Excalibur. He has to have made a sword like that, and then he could have it. But he also has to remember it. So he's kind of like that girl from My Hero Academia that can make things out of her body, but she has to understand them. So there's him, and this is here's June. I like this. She's fun to draw. I love drawing her. Like her hair is really fun to draw. Like it's kind of wild. I gave her like a Jean Grey thing where like whenever she gets like whenever she's playing her guitar, it's her magic guitar, because it's got that special gem in it, and it's made of this like elven wood that's really hard. It like sometimes her hair goes up like that. And she's like skinny, but like athletic kind of build. So she's tall and skinny, kind of. I figure there's not that. I mean, I guess I'd say there's not that many of them, but I guess if you go to like the X-Men and stuff, there's. Oh, the. Thank you. Yeah, I love the highlight. It's because it's something I'm going to add later in the story, like a way for it's kind of like just something she does because her mom has blonde hair and she kind of wants to feel like she remind herself that this is a serious mission, or I'm not sure. I just thought it was kind of cool. That's oh, and here's her mother, which is very much she's inspired by the I think her name was Emily, was the woman from Jurassic Park is what I really was inspired by with her. Even though I know she doesn't look like this, but it's kind of the whole like she's a alchemist, and that's why I have her holding this like potion. She because I was trying to think of what to make her. I almost made her a druid, but then I decided that an alchemist would be kind of cool because then it's more interesting that she's so attached to animals. Because a druid, of course, but an alchemist you wouldn't think as much. But she's like so fascinated with animals and like the main villain, I mean, technically is the Rift, but the main human villain that does show up in her story is... I have a name, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, because it's... I used a random generator for it. It's Decath Van Moira is his name. I literally went to this like online website where it like just randomly generates it for you. So I know it sounds weird, but that's because it was here. Yeah, he's this unseelie dark elf that is like marooned in this small pocket of Tir na nog, but he's like in this like desolate plains area that broke off, and like no one's really upset that he's gone, because even like the higher council of the Unseelie were creeped out by this guy. He is not afraid to experiment on his co-workers, and he's like a very narcissistic person who's kind of like sees everyone else in the world as NPCs that he could just mess with. So I made him this kind of character who basically is like treating the world like a game of The Sims. Yes. Oh, I'm glad you saw that. Yeah, he. I forgot to mention. Dinosaurs. Well, you saw in the other with her. Dinosaurs are in this world because a lot of dinosaurs were spirited away. Hello. You're good. We're just going through some of my drawings of for my comic. So because the main characters, because I was showing some of the pages of the comic, and then I showed Richard Steele's song, June Steele song, and Grace Steele song, and this is the villain. But yeah, he's got in this world, some dinosaurs were spirited away to the fairy realm, and since time there is different, and there was enough of them, they stayed alive there and they adapted, and so they have some like fantastical traits, but like for the most part they a lot of them stayed within their like similar like to what we would think of as what they look like, or what we would imagine they would. So it's my way of being like, I have creative license to make them look however I want. I do like blue. Well, for her, like, actually, for her, teal was the biggest thing that I was really interested in, but him, it is more on the blue side. It's like a dark teal to blue more. And here it's because it's night. I wanted to make it like this eerie, like he's he can't really even see this guy, but he's just like feeling out where he is with like listening carefully. But yeah. Let's get our work on our... Oops. Oh no, it's doing this again? Oh well. You know what it is? I think it's because I just updated the software, and maybe I was using this. Um, I was using this, my Cintiq, so maybe that's what messed it up. It's gonna be kind of like the Forsworn from Skyrim, I think, but kind of like an elf version of that, where it's like it's got like this bone armor on. Kind of like a barbarian version of an elf. That's what I'm thinking for this guy. But maybe they're really tiny. Like this is, maybe it's even like, well, it could be that too. But maybe I'll do that actually. Maybe make it so he's got like a This is like you know like the borrowers. Maybe I'll make him like one of those. Oh no, but I am making a he's not part of the comic, but I'm gonna make an animatic for him, and I am trying to make like a short story kind of, because he was this like he was exploring these like woods he never heard of before, and he kind of like got spirited away to like a part of the fairy realm. I apparently found out there's several different versions of the fairy realm, so I never really thought of which one. Originally I just said Tir Nanog because that's the one I'm familiar with, but anyway, he went there, and this like fairy creature, like a beat that was like practically like a smog monster almost. It was like it was in the shadow, he couldn't see it, but he accidentally gave his name, and then the creature stole his name and escaped, but not before severely damaging him, like really like damaging his left arm, and this little guy in my arm saved me because my character was was like bleeding out a lot, and this little guy healed me. But when he healed me, he kind of caused a mutation, which made my arm turn into like a dragon arm, and the magic is changing my body. So my character's trying to find out more about this creature that stole his name, and possibly defeat him, or maybe he can just like, if he figures out the name of the creature, maybe he can just like threaten to use that as a way to gain power over it, and try and like blackmail it to give him back his name. So he's like kind of like on a hunt, really. A wild hunt. But yeah, and I'm right now I'm actually working on my first VTuber model. I got most of the rigging done. I keep saying it's close, but I don't know. Like I still have a little bit more to go, like with the what was left. I think I have to get the hair rigged correctly, and then I think once I get everything rigged, I'm gonna try it in VTube Studio, and then if it's even like semi-functional, I'll put up a demo on I'll just make a short video on YouTube, just to show that it's like it does exist, because I swear I'm working on it. But oops, of course I just did it again. Okay, good. It's just the beginning of the song, so we're okay. Give this guy a big mustache. A mustache beard, actually. 'Cause I might make this part of my last month I tried to do this thing where I drew different fantasy creatures. It was there's a challenge called Cretonary, which was like drawing a I'm playing around with different ideas, but I don't know. I mean, it'd be really sad because like they really haven't seen much of the mother, so yeah. But what I'm doing is early in the comic I'm showing like how much of a like how powerful Richard is, and then I'm gonna do the thing where I'm like, okay, now the main character doesn't get to be with him because for plot reasons, like they're gonna separate somehow. And it's not going to be the way I hate, which is an argument. I'm not going to do that. Because I hate when, well, it's okay sometimes, but I don't like, it, for the most part, I don't like when they, like, it's the I can explain kind of situation, and then they separate. It's like they're very close family. They're not going to just, like, leave each other without a good reason. And it probably will be something to do with, like, someone from his past chasing him. Oh, yeah, this is one of the creatures from Cretonary. It's this creature that supposedly like in Central Africa. It hunts elephants, and they said it was it was like ceratopsian, but more closely to a rhino. But I thought ceratopsian was cooler, so I went with that. Yeah. Yeah, that too. I don't want to make the mistake of being like, especially with this being like the prototypes, I mean, or like the beginning story. That's like a shorter one. That's mostly just going to be like, it's going to have a very short time period of like their journey. Because I mean, they don't have much time. They gotta hurry. So I purposely made it that way so that this first story where I'm learning how to write these characters, I can just like use this to like introduce the world too, and be like try and like rough out ideals for like how this world works, and then like if it's really popular, then I can do another story afterwards where like maybe there's a bigger like battle that happens later on. Maybe, well, one thing I definitely had is the possibility that if not near the end of this story, in the next story, the main villain gets loose in our world, and he starts hunting down the Steel Songs, and he's like trying to. First, he like tries to assemble a team, and then he like because he knows he can't take them alone. He's not really a fighter; he's a scientist. But he can definitely like turn people who. There's a lot of people that do not like Richard, because his family is like very notorious during the last war for ending it in a very quick manner. So there's plenty of like unseelie and seelie. There's a lot of elves that don't like Richard in general, because he kind of like was part of a major attack on Tir na nog when they started acting more militaristic and started threatening to take over our world. We kind of responded in a very aggressive way back at them, saying, we really suggest you don't. And we're going to drop this Uru rod into your world, and it's going to shatter your dimension. And it's like, yeah. That kind of stopped them. And Richard and his family were Richard's family in general were heavily involved in the crafting of that device. So there's humans and elves looking for him, which is why he's probably going to have to separate from June, because he doesn't want to. Because right now they haven't really, early in the story, they've only run into bounty hunters that honestly weren't even looking for them. They were looking for someone else that looked kind of like June and made the mistake. But if someone else that wasn't them realized who he was, they would definitely try and like arrest him. So he kind of like goes in and he's heading in the same direction as June, but he's trying to like throw off the people who are trying to chase him. This is fun. I like drawing this. I don't. This barbarian elf. This is cool. Just fun to goof around and do this. I do have a couple. I have like a. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, Lord of the Rings, Frodo, I believe, well, and Sean Bean's character were the only two characters who really didn't make it through the movie. I mean, through the books, because like Sam went off and had a family, and like the two brothers, like they lived. So, I mean, but I know what you're saying though. It definitely should be interesting in some way or another. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be a death. It could be just like the loss of their life as it was, which I have a couple ideas for that. I don't want to spoil it, but I have a couple ideas for like things that could happen that could be like no turn back moments, kind of, where like their life just changes so significantly it might as well be like a death. So like I definitely have one for the entire family that I'm excited for, that like a big surprise at the end. So but yeah. Because like, you know, there's always those like supernatural stories where like someone starts the story and their life is pretty normal, and because they don't know about any of these like supernatural creatures and whatnot, and then like they suddenly start to see them, the Constantine kind of thing, where like all of a sudden you can see them and everything changes. But in this case, it's more like June in general doesn't have any knowledge of the outside world, because she's lived in this like hidden village that's like a pocket dimension that her uncle, I didn't even show the uncle. I love this guy. Is cool. He was going to be a character in a different story, but here he is. He's a powerful necromancer that was also involved in the battle against the elves in the last invasion. He fought the Unseelie, but he was the one that warned Richard that the Seelie weren't very trustworthy either, because he worked with them, so he knew how they thought. And he's like, you shouldn't trust them at all. Which is lore-wise, pretty fair because Faefolk are tricksters in many cases. So, but yeah, he can like he I thought it would be cool to make it so that he oh, thank you. Yeah, I figured I always wonder why do necromancers use people? And I know the easy answer is there's a lot of graveyards around or potter's fields and then you could just make an army. But if you know where a T-Rex is and you have a vague idea of how they move through like other magics that where you can look back in time, then yeah, you could just make these creatures that are these ancient creatures like a T-Rex or a plesiosaur that can be on land. So just there, that's him on top of it, that little dot. So I figured that would make you a pretty powerful. Especially now that like every time more news comes out about T-Rexes, we find out they're bigger and fatter than we thought before. Like, oh, it was this big, and then we're like, wait, nope, they're actually even more muscular, so they're this big, and then it's like, oh, nope, we were wrong about the size again. They're even bigger. It's like, oh, okay. This is just a rough idea, a rough drawing to do for the first pass, and then I'll do an action pose with this. That's usually what I like to do. But this guy's going to be tiny. He's like... Oops. Sorry. There's going to be a little mouse. And that's him. Right there. So these guys are like tiny little people. And this guy, I think when I just started drawing him, I kind of like just instantly thought of Secret of Ariadne. But with this like even more primitive than the other little guy that they meet. Kind of like that guy mixed with the guy from Primal. He's got like this emaciated, kind of like really thin body. He's really strong. Really strong arms. He needs a meal. I'll clean up his anatomy. Do you have any favorite kind of hero? Well, villains is what we were talking about earlier, but heroes or villains that like from stories. Like, what kind of things do you like in your heroes or in your villains? Is what I'm curious about. I like to hear how other people like theirs, because personally, I like ones where they're pretty simple. They don't need. I mean, sometimes it's fine if they have a backstory where they might have been a good guy once, but I prefer it if it's almost even better when they're just you're meeting them at their worst. You're meeting for the villains, and they're just so pulled into their own thought process that they might as well just be a cutout like cartoon villain, because they're just like so pulled into the dark side of their mind that like there's no coming back. Those are the kind I like. Like your Xanatos from Gargoyles, or your Lex Luthors, or which I know in other stories he's been good, but very, very, very few. He's got one on his head too. It's a different creature. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. Oh, those are fun too. Yes. I can dig those. Like, oh gosh. I don't think. Well, I mean, there were a couple of even Disney villains that did that. I was trying to think of one offhand, but like, I mean, Scar was kind of funny at points. Like his whole like beginning part where he's like messing with Simba a lot, and but then there's there's definitely been other ones like Yzma. Yzma's so much fun. I love her. She's such a fun character from Emperor's New Groove. Her and Krunk were great. Or I'm trying to think of other ones. I guess one that I really liked too that I just thought of. Hades. Hades was fun. Yeah. Because although it is weird, it is funny that Disney chose to make Hades the villain when Ares would have been a better choice, but whatever. Or heck, Zeus would have been a better choice technically, because Zeus in the actual stories is pretty awful. But they couldn't have, I guess they couldn't have Dad be bad, so. Interesting. Huh. I'd have to think about it. It's a shame Disney had to change what is it, Black Cauldron so much, because like that was originally the Horned King was going to be a lot more interesting, but then they had to like make him less scary, so they kind of nerfed him really a lot. But I get it. It was a very early Disney movie, and like they really didn't want it to be like too scary for kids, because that was their main market. So I can't hold it against them really. It was a shame when Ghibli, unfortunately, they tried to do Tales of Earthsea, but they couldn't. They I don't know. I can't remember what happened. It was like something happened when the son was trying to do it, and he like the production was just a nightmare. That's funny. And like Final Fantasy's always had good villains. After hearing this music, it makes me kind of think of Final Fantasy. Well, we're listening to a Final Fantasy mix technically, so. But like Kuja, I mean Sephiroth is the obvious one to talk about, but I'll talk about it Final Fantasy 9 because I feel it doesn't get enough love. Kuja was such an interesting character because a nihilistic villain is an interesting kind of villain. Like you don't usually see that too often in like you see it once in a while in stories, I suppose, but like his was just very interesting because of like how he came to be. And then you have Vivi, the complete opposite of him. Where I feel if Vivi had met him earlier in his life, maybe Vivi could have talked him out of being evil. Been like, hey, pal, don't look so glum. I know you feel like you're a failed experiment, but you're alive. Every day's a gift. Isn't it great? But see, that's why I think that's part of the reason why Sephiroth is such a good villain too. Is that like, sure, there's a part of his story that some might say makes him a sympathetic villain, but I think it's very small compared to like what he did after. Like he kind of like mentally just went from like he was never really a good guy, but he kind of played the hero, thought of himself as a hero until he found out that his mother was the calamity that was trying to swallow the world. And it's like, oh, okay, now I can be a bad guy. And it's like, that's what your mom is. That doesn't mean you have to be that. And he's like, can't hear you. Gonna go become the center of the planet. Bye. And then, like, I think 10 was an example of more of the sympathetic villain, kind of, because he had mommy issues. To be fair, I don't know who wouldn't have them after what he went through, like knowing that your mom was sent on a pilgrimage that she'd never come back from. Pretty dark. And then he had to watch other people do it. And I think that kind of would break you eventually. If the first time didn't. Watching like everyone, having to tell other people to do it definitely would. Maybe it's like draped over his shoulders. But yeah, Hades was fun. He was. It's like Hercules. Hercules, why is that name familiar? I told you to take him out. It's like maybe it's another Hercules. And then you had like some of the Pixar villains were really fun too, like in Up, the uh the guy in that with all of his dogs, like where he was just like kind of went mad out in the wilderness kind of, and like thought that anyone who was going to come near him was a threat. Let's see, this is going to be, I'm going to do a fruit based one. So I'm trying to think of a fun. I'm going backwards on the list. I'm trying to think of more modern ones, but there's. There really hasn't been too many good villains in like animated movies lately. Outside of maybe like. Definitely not in Disney, because like Wish, I didn't even see Wish, but I heard that guy was kind of a disappointment as a villain. Especially compared to, if you're going to compare him to like people like Scar, or even Dr. Facilier, like he was at least intimidating. Friends on the other side. Maybe I'll make this a good. We'll play with both. I'll keep that there if I change my mind, but maybe I'll make two of them. So I'll keep him, but just lower his resolution so he's not like. But yeah, in my story, I figured it'd be kind of fun to make the villain just a background thing that's a threat that is not so much the main problem, but just a problem that's slowing her down. Like he's really, like I said, he's not even physically there, but he's able to like influence creatures in our world because of the rift. So, oops. So he's using that to just mess with creatures in her area, and she doesn't like that. So she's trying to stop him any way she can. Let's see, let's find some poses here. I guess I could make them based. The fruit could be like. They could be kind of like fruit bats, kind of. That'd be kind of cool. Like fairies that look like they have kind of like the same kind of traits. Or like maybe they have wings like fruit bats. Right. Your eyes are bigger than your stomach. You're trying to go for this huge apple. Maybe I will give them the bat wings because I kind of like the idea of like fruit bats, but like fairyfolk instead. So maybe they have the big ears too. Be right back. I get some water. She's like, ah. It's too bad Gargoyles ended. I mean, that they didn't. It's kind of weird that they never tried to bring that show back. That was a really good show. Madam, that is. Too big of a bite for you, ma'am. Too late, she doesn't care. I'm just roughing this out right now. I'm going to go over all these later again, but it's fun to just like rough out these ideas like this and then come back to them later, because there's times where I have had to like go back through an idea from like the 11th hour and like change it completely before, but so I try and prevent that when I can. Where you get to like basically like take a drawing and be like, cool, I did all this work on rendering, now I have to shrink it and make it the reference for the new drawing that it's gonna look better. It's like, oh boy. Can't believe I wasted all that time. Oops. No. Okay, there we go. But I've also made much better drawings that way too, so it's not like I'm against it 100%. Maybe even like kind of make her nose go up, actually, like a bat. Because fairies can resemble a lot of things. Like, there's no real rules. Like, people always sometimes people, thanks to cartoons, only think of pixies when they think of fairies, but there's quite a bit of things that are classified as fairy. Like trolls and dwarves. So. I could have pushed her to be more like a fox bat, but I didn't want this to be like a furry. So it kind of went like, nah. They are cute though. Fox bats are like, if you've ever seen those videos of them eating, being like there was this video of this one that was like a rescue, and the woman was feeding it like bananas, and it was pretty adorable. It is interesting how bats have such an erratic looking flying pattern to us, but it's really like something that they kind of like just like their entire species, like, I'm not sure if evolved is the right word, but their hunting habits are basically based around that erratic kind of flying that we think is weird, but it's because like they're hunting bugs, and bugs move very erratically, so they move more erratically. Yes, they look so silly, don't they? It's like it's so adorable. I love watching those on days when I need to smile. Like, just put one of those videos on. That or people with their pet ravens, because ravens are really interesting. They're really quite intelligent. I mean, not like for a pet, for a bird. She might. Put a few bite marks in it already. Like. Oops, I don't like that. Let's fix that. At least. Remember there was a cartoon called Silver Wings where it was like it had this interesting story where like it felt like it was almost made by the same maybe not the same people that did Gargoyles, but it did have a really good animation style for its time. And for a cartoon that didn't last very long. But it was like... Apparently there was like this like war that happened and like between the beasts and the birds, and like the bats apparently were just like this like neutral party that was scorned later on for not being involved. And it's funny because in that I think the villain was a fox bat, and it was cannibalistic, and it's like, no, they probably wouldn't eat other bats. I think they can eat small creatures, but I don't think that they would ever go. I forget what their entire meal plan is, but I think they're mostly fruit. I think maybe in a really harsh situation they might go for creatures, but they would definitely go for something easier than a bat if they had to go for another creature. But it was okay. Maybe not that red, but she's gonna have red eyes. So she looks a little scary, but she just likes fruit. She's got razor sharp teeth to eat, to break through fruit. Maybe, what if she's, I know. Since I used white, I might have to change the teeth, but what if she's one of those, like the white bats? I forget what those are called, but they have, like, those really big ears, and they would look cool with her, like silver hair and like this, like, pinkish white kind of hue to her. It'd be kind of nice. Yeah. Yeah, this might be another creature, another series of. I might make this another series of drawings for like creatures that Gray Steel Song is documenting in like notebooks. I'll give her black hair just for fun. But she's. But yeah, she's just to create, just someone enjoying a meal. Oops, I don't like that one. Yeah. I like doing that with fantasy stuff too, where it's like you just, because don't get me wrong, I love a good combat scene, but sometimes it's more fun to just draw like characters in a boring scene and try and make it look interesting than to like, because it's easy to make a heavy combat scene exciting, but it's always more satisfying when you can make something like this fun. I might put like a grade in her feet, I'm not sure. But we'll see. She kind of makes me think of a fusion between what's her name, the main character, one of the characters from that girl from Ferngully with Batty, where it's like, what would happen if she turned into a bat? She's got kind of the same clothes on as this character. Maybe we can do like the Monster Hunter thing with the big plume at the end of the tail. Like in Monster Hunter World, there was that one that you went for. That kind of had the poof. Except that's the wrong spot because I do have it curly, don't I? Maybe it doesn't have to be as long. I can make it shorter because it's. Just a poof at the end of her tail. Yeah, that too. Definitely. I might shrink this. I might shrink this down so that the oh, I think I know what's wrong. So I might shrink it down so that the I can fit her in, and I was gonna maybe put another another one of her kind, like either above her, like just chilling out or something like that. I was thinking, just with a just attacking, like it has like a slice of it. And it's just like nibbling away at it. I'm just putting in like light, kind of like some ideas for the color. Yeah, that's true too. Let's see, what other colors? I think we got. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do like a on the tips of her ears. Oops. And then this part of her wings will be this pink kind of color. Salmon. It's called salmon. Wreck-It Ralph. That's what I was thinking. Like maybe like a mate or something, or yeah, like a husband or something that she's sharing a meal with. Oops. Trying to like. Just add to the fuzziness of the tip of the tail for the female one. Or for this one. Yeah, she's. Do, 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 do. Usually use more brushes, but today I'm in the mood to just use some simple ones. I usually don't use the airbrush until much later in the drawing, but I just want to have some fun doodling these ones. These are more about the concept than about the finished drawing. So I like drawings like that sometimes, where you can just like, where you're not as concerned about whether it's going to come out perfect. You just want it to be a fun idea, because I always say you can always redraw something, but so it's always better to go work towards a good idea than a finished drawing of a bad idea. And if it's a doodle of a bad idea, then, who cares? These got little claws, so you can latch onto things. Yeah. And then I can just, what I can do is put all of this in a folder. And then shrink her down so that she fits. And so does he. But first we gotta get... Just at least get the color in for this. So I can draw him on top of it. So making a dark apple. Probably could just use... I'm just going to do this. This is somewhere where I can use this, and I don't feel that bad. So... There. Bing! Right? It looks... I mean, it looks pretty cool. I like that. Yeah. Okay. I don't use pink too much, but when I do, I always want to make it a good reason and something fun. Actually, I'm going to change where her wings are because they're too... I like it better when they were like this. When I had her wing kind of... Yeah, more like that. And then he could be... I was thinking he was like leaning sideways on a branch or something, just eating it up. Yeah. Kind of because like chilling on a nearby branch, kind of just eat. I also like this because, like, despite what I said earlier about them being deceitful, they are a lot of fairy folk are playful, so it'd be nice to show them more in a like chipper kind of like upbeat kind of mood than dangerous. Because unseelie are the ones that are like more dangerous, but seelie are just inquisitive, and sometimes they can hurt people, but not on purpose. They usually do it by accident. Like, they either don't realize how fragile humans are, or they don't realize how short our lifespans are. Is usually the kind of things that happen. I think I kind of like my... You know what? I'll come back to this. I thought I liked my original idea better a little bit, where he's kind of like... He's doing the, like, fruit bat thing of, like, he's, like, just jamming a slice of it. That maybe is, like, from over here, he cut a big piece out. And he's just nibbling at it. He's got like his... And maybe he has like a little blade or something, or yeah, maybe he has like a big machete kind of knife that's next to him that has like some of the apple juice on it. I know that's not what it looks like there, but that's what it's gonna be. So maybe it's less. How would it look? I'm trying to think of a good style for him. Maybe they both just have like the death metal kind of hair. His is just a little shorter, but like they both have that like... So I like the ears peeking out of that. I don't think if he'll be right? Yeah, me too. I'm gonna try something out. I might give him a different color scheme a little bit, kind of like how there's certain species where the male has a different color than, although that's kind of plain. I want something. Usually they have a more ornate color. Like maybe his... Trying to think what color would be good if he's gonna be... I guess I could keep part of them the same though. I think I'm gonna make the base still like a white, but I'm gonna just change like everything else to a degree, like kind of give him more of a just a... Like make his ears a little longer. And like he's got his hand on the... Yeah, he's got both his hands on this. I forgot. He's eating it like like he's cramming it in his mouth, like... He's you can barely see his eyes. He's mainly just like a mouth that's just open, like a gaping maw that's just he's hungry. I was thinking that too, maybe. Like maybe that blue is an idea just to kind of, or maybe even like some of her color, but then blue for like an accent color, like a sky blue or something, but like really light. Kind of like just like the inside of the wings maybe, and like his ears, because then he could like flick it. You can kind of like use them as a display. Maybe the males have blue eyes, blue glowing eyes instead of red. And you know what? That's too much of a change. I like them both having red, so let's make them both have red. Because that's kind of the fun of this character. These characters is that like they should be with red eyes. They should be scary, but they're just like you can clearly see they're just like very chill and they're just enjoying their meal, which is definitely not anything other than fruit. These are, or at least nothing. And even if there was other things, it would probably be insects. Honestly, with their size, they couldn't hope to be a threat to humans. I'm gonna give them a different color, like a green. Let's make it green, like a dark green, so they can match it. Kind of like it's made of maybe like leaves or something like that. Do 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 do. Yeah, these are just kind of hanging off the off the sides. Do 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 do. Maybe he has like a little bit of the blue on his going across his chest, kind of like chest hair, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And like I said, I can always clean these up, obviously, but I just want to make them fun first, and then I'll worry about that after. But do 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 do. Yeah, I think the blue looks good because it's a soft color too, like that one. So they kind of go like everything else around them can be like much more like sharp colors, and they can be the more subdued. Like, let's try and get a different brush for this for a second. Trying to give this a little more. Do do do. There we go. I'll shrink his head down. His head's kind of big. Only a little bit. Like make it a little bit smaller because he's. Oops. Well, I guess it's okay. Yeah, it's a little better. He's. I didn't need too much. It just was kind of feeling like he was getting. It's a little big. So I'm gonna make him like a little smaller. Like her. This one is even more fun than the bone one was interesting, and I'm sure I'll go back to that one too. But this one's just more fun. And I think that's what I'm going to do with the other one when I go back to it, is try and put it in a more like lighthearted setting. Or just a setting that would be more appropriate for whatever I'm going to do with it. Because like, maybe it won't be as like cheerful as this, maybe, but it will definitely fit its prompt more. Oops. Yeah. Well, yeah, I was thinking with the Bone Elf, maybe I was going to do one where, since a lot of his character was based around armor, I was going to make him like a blacksmith. And have him like smithing the armor instead of just wearing it. That might be kind of fun. Yeah, threatening. I mean, it could still be threatening. I don't know. I'll try and think of something kind of fun with that too. Like maybe it's like it's a rainy day or something, and it's just like kind of spooky. I'll figure something out for him. Gee, that's not the kind of leaves that, never mind. That's a maple tree, Sean. What are you doing? Oh. Yeah, it's kind of fun to do a whole variety of different types of characters, like some scary, some not. So I had to play around this entire month with like different types of fairies. Because there's some that are actually like they start out cute and funny until you like annoy them, and then they get dangerous. So that might be fun to do too. Like Tom Two's, there was a legend of one that like helped this guy like restore this castle from like falling apart, and in the end it unfortunately destroys the castle because it wanted his daughter's hand in marriage, and he said no. Let's get rid of this. This is that's interesting too. You're right. Like well the main villain. I never watched Demon Slayer, but I did see the first episode with the villain, and that's how they presented him. So I'm not sure if that's really how he was or if that was just like a ruse. But the idea of like a character who's like very like socially presents himself as like this loving father and caring husband, and then in reality like he's something much darker underneath. Yes, I just accidentally restarted the song. Sorry. Didn't mean to take that much of the tail off. There. Poof. Think of other heel turn, or like not even heel turn, but like villains who actually, what if it's Oops. There we go. That's better. Softer sides. Oh, I just thought of one that was really good, and that's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, with the Fua, where he pretended he had his whole family lifestyle, and then like you saw what he was really like, and you're like, oh, okay, scary. It's like, I don't like all this. Get rid of these loose drawings underneath. Now that we're this far along. That looks like it's in his side. I don't like that. Let's move that knife. No. There. Let's move this knife away from his side because I don't want him stabbing himself. Let's put it in the tree over here. Yeah. That's better. There. Now it doesn't look like he's skewered himself. Oops. I did not think of that until I was that far in that drawing, and I'm like, ow. Like that's not good. Why's my phone being so loud? Stop it. Oops. I'm off the screen. There. No, we're not doing bad. Let's get a multiply layer in here. Just for his wings. Maybe put some of that tint in just his skin too a little bit. Just kind of got. Yeah. What are your favorite versions of that of the villain who's has a I mean what you said menacing but then has a softer side because I know I've seen that. I keep my brain's just not letting me think of anything right now other than that Full Metal Alchemist one. But I know I've definitely seen other versions of that too in other shows. But I was just wondering if you had like a favorite film that has that trait. And if you don't, that's fine. I just was curious. I think Batman's done that a few times, hasn't he? Like with the animated series, they had a. I'm pretty sure there was some of his rogues gallery like did have like actual families. I think there was at least one that did. Oh yeah, no, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's cool. I just was curious. I think a way probably not to do it, and I know people pick on this one a lot because it was a rewrite of a character, because they didn't realize that this character was going to be a good guy or a bad guy. But in Frozen, it's not a it's not the worst way to write a villain, but it's probably not the way you'd want to go if you were really planning ahead. Like I think with them they weren't, because originally Elsa was going to be the villain, and then they heard the song and they're like, no. Like, let's make her good, but misunderstood. Whereas he was just like, I'm gonna make a heel turn at the last minute for just reasons, like very small reasons. Which I mean, sometimes villains have that, but eh. It'll come to me later. Like just some ideas of ones I've watched, because I know there's a bunch, but because anime is definitely some anime I've watched have definitely done that where like someone looks like a nice guy, but then all of a sudden you at the last second they just turn and you see their true colors. Do, 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 do. Gotta fix this arm. His arms are way too low. Yeah, concept then anatomy with this one. Yeah, you can always clean it up afterwards. It's, like I said, more about the concept at first, then the anatomy. Yeah, big chompers for eating lots of food. Inside the mouth will probably be the same color as hers. Yum, 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 yum. Because yeah, one of the first prompts was spectral, and I was trying this. I might go more for like. At first, I was gonna go for like Dark Souls, kind of creepy, but I might go for more like ethereal and still offsetting, but not, but more in a like kind of like in that scene in Hilda where they see the fox deer coming down and the like it's a scene that you're not that humans have never seen, that kind of thing, where it's like It's something that looks just like other. This something that seems otherworldly, kind of would be kind of cool for that. Yeah, something so strange that you're not even sure if you should be scared or what. You're just like, maybe danger? Not sure. Oops. Of course. Oh well. Skip. I'm gonna give them 3 fingers. I don't. They're tiny little things. They don't need 4. I mean, 4 fingers with the thumb, but that's all I need. Because they already have 2 sets of arms if you count the. Because wings are evolutionarily another pair of arms. So, yeah. Oh, he's gonna need a tail. I almost forgot. Maybe his is. Since hers comes to a bald, maybe his is more like a fox, like a more shaggy, like that. And then it. It's the wrong layer. Let's just do it above this. Dun, dun, dun. I got a lot of cleanup to do on this. That's okay though. Yeah, spiritual, definitely. Yeah, kind of like yeah, like some kind of like moment that's like feels like almost sacred. That's kind of cool. Like making a little bit of a transition into like a blue almost for the hair. Maybe she has a few strands that do that, but with the pink, and maybe not. I'll definitely make her hair a little thicker. it's just like flowing down her back like that. Yeah. And more of the pink to the arms because I realized that she's kind of a little muted up here. Actually, I can cheat a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Oops, too big. That's better. Yeah. Yeah, it's better. Give her like some more darker spots near her joints. And same with him, maybe with the maybe not that dark, but something on his, yeah. Do. Slowly chipping away. Oops, that's the apple. I don't know why I drew. Oops, I forgot that. Maybe that was like the beginning of some bites. Like beep, beep, beep. It's like yang, 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 yang. There is this book I have on fairies that talks about a specific one that grabs a hold of lost dreams. So that might be something that I could do for spiritual, something kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. I kind of like where it's like they're like that way I don't have to do like I can do like a maybe like a texture for like leaves or something in the background, but like this way it's got like a forest kind of feel more. Like maybe they're inside like a yeah they're inside the tree until they're in the shade. Something like that's nice though. Do, 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 do. How are you doing? Oops. Maybe even he's got more fur on his shoulders. Which wouldn't be there. Yeah. I think so too, yeah. I like... Oops. Oops, that's too bright. Yeah, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I tried that out. You were right. A couple was the way to go. Because even when I was gonna do two at first, it was just gonna be like two of the same species, but they weren't gonna be. This feels more like maybe like their mates. But I'm pretty happy. Oops, that doesn't fit. Maybe some of this in there? Nah. Let me try. Nah. I almost put that in, but I don't think so. Yeah. Beep, beep. Brighten their eyes up a little bit. I'm liking it. I think it's most of the way there. It just needs like some things in the background. Wait, I got a better idea. Why am I drawing? Oops. Why is that not I started to draw on the layer right below, and I'm like, that's gonna be very risky. So I decided, maybe a little higher up. Not that high. I know where to go if I can find it. Here we go. Maybe not. Why is it? Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't that be great? If you just like walk up to a cherry and it's like the size of a basketball, and you're just like, well, this is all I need for this part of the day, like the majority of the day. This is weird. Huh. Man, these are all my brushes aren't behaving right now. I think I know why. Yep, that's why. Oops, wrong layer. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. Yeah. Living the life. I gotta fix things, so I might. Yeah, One sec. Be right back. Step away and look at it from a distance. There's parts of it I do like. I think, yeah, there's parts I can fix, but I do like the composition. I think it just needs a few little tweaks here and there, but honestly, those could be even just fixed with stuff like changing how the wings are set up a little bit. Yeah, just kind of clean up the wings a little here. But it's already a little better. I think her hand is a little off. Although yeah, if I just do that might even help with that. Doo. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. Just kind of lighten her up a bit. Yeah. I think it's looking pretty good. I think I'll finish it up tomorrow on my stream. But thanks for sticking by. It's really nice having someone to talk to while I work. Honestly, I did not think that I would make something like this during this challenge. This is what I love about these challenges. I always surprise myself with what I make. Like, Like I always think it's gonna be like, oh, I work pretty hard, but like it's just fun. And then I start and I'm like, suddenly get really serious and I want to make this like really good drawing. Yeah, this I'm liking this a lot. You were. No, you were great. Honestly, I get it. I do that too, where you just kind of like you doing other things around your house or apartment or whatever, and you kind of just come over and talk. That's cool. As long as I get some engagement, I'm happy. I'm not picky. So I really appreciate you being present. So yeah, but I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time. Uh, so if you want to catch me again working on this, that's when I'll be doing it, and I'll probably be drawing for. I'm gonna try and draw a little longer because I mean, I know today wasn't the longest, but I can. With it being a Saturday, I'll be able to stay up later. So yeah, look forward to more of that. Yeah. And yeah, I hope you have a nice rest of your day. And yeah, so hopefully I'll see you tomorrow on the stream. But if not, then enjoy your weekend. And yeah, take care.